I was over there in Israel, in Jerusalem specifically, because I wanted to see with my own two eyes the opening of the American embassy in Jerusalem. It was an enormously wonderful and historic occasion. There were members of Congress there, 4 senators and I think like 14 or so members of the House, give or take. All Republicans. Not a single elected Democrat, not one, came to the ceremony. Not a single elected Democrat came to the ceremony. What does that tell you about the Democrat Party and the left? What does that tell you about them? Chuck Schumer is Jewish. He's the head of the Democrat Party in the Senate. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. What does that tell you about him? What does that tell you about them? I don't need to finish that sentence. You know what it tells them. I wanted to touch on one other subject, how China and Russia steal our intellectual property. What does this have to do with anything? It has to do with everything. We wouldn't be in so many of these difficult positions respecting China and Russia, but particularly China, if they weren't stealing our technology, and we've done shows on this. How do they steal it? Well, the old-fashioned way with spies. How else do they steal it? Well, they now use cyber technology to break into our data systems, including our military systems, but even more into our corporate data systems. And there's another way as well, among others, which is any company that wants to locate in China as a technology company, they're required to have a Chinese business company as a partner. And these are state-front groups, and those partners require the transfer of proprietary information, including technological information, to the Chinese state-run company, which, of course, the government in China steals and it uses for its military and other purposes. This is China. Dick Cheney's right. It's our greatest threat. That's not to say Russia and Iran and North Korea aren't threats. They are enormous threats to us. But China is a massive country with about 1.5 billion people, threatening all the countries around it, from South Korea and Taiwan, which it don't even recognize as a country, Japan, Vietnam, the Philippines. I mean, for crying out loud, the communist country of Vietnam comes to us for protection against what China's doing, because China doesn't care. And this is the country, of course, that is propping up North Korea. North Korea would not have nukes but for China. There's no question about that. North Korea would have collapsed already, but for China.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.